Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for a minute, I'm about to quit my job, cash in for a ticket. I'm going on a trip and I don't plan to visit. I'm gonna stay there till I feel like I'm winning, and this is just the beginning. I need a big change, help me feel like living. I need a big swing, home runs I'm hitting, and I'll never look back, moving on till I get it all. And we all got dreams.
Hey, what's the gig? Of course, Danny Deals, Danny W Deals, Triple D, the Deal Machine, hanging out in the Deals house. Am I here to tell you about this Thrillbilly shirt? Maybe. Or the fact that I reprinted this one. Or check out this new one. Okay, that's over with. Here's the deal, right? June 3rd, June 4th, Crockett Cup, right? Everybody knows. Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And guess what? Plunkerino, the Memphis Love Machine, and I, we went out and we looked through the bench and we pulled Eric Jackson and Plunky. I haven't got a name for him yet. I'll think of a name. Either way, here's the point. We've got, this is the last chance, which of course we're getting in, so I'm not worried about it being the last chance triple threat or whatever the hell. And we got Headbangers Ball out there. You got the Power Ballad Brother and then the tall Napalm Death Dude. They just need to stay out of the way because we, Plunk I and myself, and now Eric, because you're just getting, it's osmosis. You're just gonna, you got to deal with it too. We still got unfinished business with these two goofy pricks, Sal and old Gimpy. This time, they ain't walking away from nothing. I ain't forgot. I have not forgotten St. Louis, where you tried to kill poor Alex and ruin his career. Tried to kill me. Tried to kill Plunky. Right? These demonic dipshits. Ain't happening this time, fellas. You guys are getting taken out. We're going to the Crockett Cup. We're going to win the Crockett Cup. How's that grab your ass? All right. Now, I got to get back to doing some more stuff. I got to get more stuff ready for the Crockett Cup, right? Not just strategy. You know, we got to do a game plan, but I got to make some other stuff and all that kind of stuff for the Dealyites and all that. Either way, whatever. So, right. All right. Get out of here.
I got to admit, I'm a little disappointed in you, the NWA wrestling fan, because I hop on social media and all I see is a bunch of complaints and whining. It's something like,
well, how did the Fixers qualify? How are the Fixers in the Crockett Cup? They lost to Trevor and Knox.
In between you begging for Mountain Dew and your pizza rolls from your mom. So let me explain this to you so you understand. Just as the name implies, the Fixers, and since we've said since day one, Wrecking Ball Legursky and the boss Jay Bradley fix problems. So why would we not fix our own? All it took was a few signatures on some legal paperwork, a few whispers in the right ears, a couple reminders to certain people that NWA president took our rightfully won property, the U.S. Tag Team Championships. And we're in, baby. We're in the Crockett Cup, and we're in it to win it. See you in North Carolina, mutts.
As the National Heavyweight Champion, I will defend this title anywhere, any city, any state, hell, any country, any continent, any planet. I will defend the National Heavyweight Championship on the moon. There is no challenge I won't accept. There is no challenge I won't thwart. There is no challenge I can't overcome. And I am the current National Heavyweight Champion, and I am the future World's Heavyweight Champion. Thus spoke EC3.
What is up, you beautiful people? This is Gary Horton. This is the NWA, the show celebrating the past, present, future, history, legacy, and tradition of the greatest pro wrestling entity of all time. Of course, we're talking about the National Wrestling Alliance. I'm here with the great Joe Galley, the delightful Danny Deals, and the depressed Kyle Davis.
Couldn't I have been the delightful one?
Well, it was
going. That's not true. That's not true.
I was going with that. What's the word for it? Where you're like
alliteration.
Alliteration. Yeah, kind of couldn't think of it, but yeah. So that's what I was.
Depressed Davis.
Yeah,
you kind of had a remix.
Depressed about
this is.
I'm upset because some businesses won't accept a debit card, and you have to use a credit card on their website. That's all. That's texted you, Joe. It makes me angry.
I reply. Do they not take American Express?
That could be the case.
Yeah, but then I got to figure all that shit. Yeah, you're right.
We have the information. It's in an email.
It's in an email.
I'll continue.
Guys, anyway, moving on. How's everybody doing tonight? The Crockett Cup, 2 weeks away. Have you gotten your tickets yet? If not, what are you waiting for? Do I have to come to your house and give you succulent kisses to just get you to be involved there?
That's right. That's Kissy Kyle Davis.
Yeah, Kissing Booth Kyle. That's it. Kissing Booth Kyle.
It's going to lead to chlamydia Kyle.
Whoa!
Kissing
right. Is it a drip or is it more of like a
you learned that from your cousin Kenny.
Right.
You got to woo people in with the kisses sometimes.
I have heard that this whole live stream is like a frat party sometimes. So I see it now. Congrats, Mike.
It's your show.
Yeah, congrats, true. Mike Durbin. Speaking of Killer Kyle and delightful Danny and whatever. Anyway, you get it. We got delightful Cody in the house. Axel's here. Media. Rush Freeman is in the house. Eric Dale. Polka Dot Pam, who got her tickets. Mike got his tickets. Jade says, Kyle is the only one that I can think of that takes in more caffeine than me. I don't know that it's caffeine. Maybe.
There's no caffeine in this. I do drugs. That's really what it comes down to.
Well, yeah.
I think it's just adrenaline.
But they're legal.
I think it's adrenaline.
Yeah, it's just adrenaline.
Just like those big shots, like right in your chest, like on
This is non-gummy Kyle.
No, it hasn't kicked in yet, but it will in about 30 minutes. There's no caffeine in Spindrift.
Oh,
Media M5. Willie. Hey, who's Big Willie? Which one of us is Big Willie?
David is here. Good to see you, amateur bracketologist. Yeah, you're. Have you gone to nationalwrestlingalliance.com and downloaded your Crockett Cup bracket yet? If you haven't and you're in this chat, I'm very disappointed in you.
You know what else you can do when you go there, Gary? You can click on the store. Look at this. See this new shirt? There's some other stuff up there. I believe I sent you pictures, but you may not have downloaded.
No, I got the pictures. I got it on somebody better than you, Danny.
Oh,
there you go. There we go. So that'll sell more T-shirts than on Danny.
Who wore it best, Riley or Deals? I don't know.
I will say that is a very cool shirt, though. I really like that. It's
I redid the other one. Did you have that picture?
Oh, the Atari shirt. Tell him
how happy she is about wearing that shirt.
I think she wasn't happy because it was like 1 a.m. I said, "Hey, I need to take a picture of somebody in that shirt," because that was the weekend we sold them all. So she goes, "All right."
Okay.
Great impression.
And, there's so much more to talk about today. We got Crockett Cup. There's also check out the store for these beautiful banners, the Thrill Billy Thrill Ride shirt, that NWA USA hat, all that cool stuff. Loads of autographed items, all at nationalwrestlingalliance.com/shop. And then, of course, the magical Crockett Cup 2023 bracket is available for you to download or just look at, just like this one right here on your screen. Tickets are still available at nwatix.com. This pay-per-view is available on Fight. June 3rd and 4th, Winston-Salem Fairgrounds. You don't want to miss this. This is huge. All the teams have been announced. You see those brackets. Who are your picks? You gotta tell us. Let us know.
Mine is those games recently won tag team championships.
Oh, that is a great call. So if you haven't been following along on AAA, Arez and Commander just won the AAA tag team title. So congrats to those guys over there. Arez is currently a part of the Crockett Cup. He's going to be teaming with Toxin, I believe, at the Crockett Cup. So That's going to be interesting, but one half of the AAA Tag Team Championships. Another cool thing that's happening at the site, we brought on somebody special to tell you about it, and that is Mr. Paul E. Pratt.
Hey, Paul, what's going on, Paul?
Hello, everybody. How are you doing today?
Living the dream.
We're so excited. Paul, I'm gonna see if I can share my screen here.
Joe, when you say living the dream, I also know that that's code for your miserable
You just got rid of Paul.
It's okay.
It's all right.
You got rid of Paul. Paul's the entire reason people are here. Paul's the good one in the group.
Oh, I know. Where did Paul go? Why did
It says I'm in the show.
Now you
screwed it up. I screwed it all up. There, we'll do it
happening?
this way. We'll do it.
Okay. Look at this. We're all here. This is very Brady Bunch. Like, forget it. Sorry, Joe. I didn't mean to just do that to you.
We brought Paul on because if another thing you can do is go to the website right now, nationalwrestlingalliance.com, and you'll notice up here at the top, there's a whole new section up here that says magazine. Paul, what is this? How did this get here?
So, first of all, I am so excited to be here to talk about this. This is a project that we've been working on for literally months. I am very grateful to Kyle and Joe for helping to move this forward. Gary, Danny, I'm so appreciative of your support. I come from a long history of magazine production, journalism background. I aspired as a young kid to be part of the Pro Wrestling Illustrated family of magazines, and I'm very happy to say that today I'm a contributor to Pro Wrestling Illustrated. But I've worked in the magazine industry as well as covering professional wrestling for years and years. For 7 years, it was for the Huffington Post. And it was through a joint effort with the National Wrestling Alliance that we have revived a publication that was exceedingly popular in the 1950s through the 70s, which is NWA Official Wrestling Magazine. Now, this is a publication for those of you who are visiting at the website now, which will be periodic. We're not announcing any kind of intended publishing schedule at this point in time, but it is available now, and I'm hopeful that we'll be able to tie this to a lot of the National Wrestling Alliance's bigger events, like the Crockett Cup coming up on June 3rd and 4th in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Tickets are available now. Perhaps even NWA 75. But look at some of the incredible things that we've got in here for people to go view, share on your social media. This is available now. We've got links to each of these. This, by the way, right now, you're looking at something that I'm so very proud of. I
had to have you talk about this.
Yeah, I'm an unabashed fan.
It's like quality. It is sexy. It makes my nipples hard.
Oh my God, thank you. I'm an unabashed Midnight Express fan, everybody, and one of the originators of the Midnight Express, Loverboy Dennis Condrey, is a very special exclusive interview in this issue of NWA Official Magazine, available now, nationalwrestlingalliance.com. You can get, the great thing about this too, guys, is that not only can you read this, say, on your smartphone or handheld device as a text format on our website, but there is a downloadable PDF version of this that is going to give you these beautiful designs that mimic some of my favorite publications growing up: Inside Wrestling, The Wrestler, Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Now, I want to make it very clear to anybody so there's no confusion. There is no connection between NWA Official Wrestling Magazine and Pro Wrestling Illustrated, other than the fact that I certainly drew a lot of the inspiration from what you're seeing from those pages, and we all share a obvious love and passion for pro wrestling.
It looks beautiful, just like Kyle was saying. I mean, it's you guys, Paul, you know, knows Pollo, and I does stuff on Twitter through Pollo's account. In case you weren't aware, they may or may not be the same person.
I've met that.
What?
Before. No, I'm a totally different person. Look at this. Look at this rugged, handsome jawline.
There's no way
I can possibly do anything that
I've taken a look at Pollo's ass before, and I could tell you that's quite an ass. And I've looked at Pollo's ass. And they don't have the same ass.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
Oh shit!
I was looking at the booty.
So, y'all,
actually, Thrillbilly made me look at the booty.
I literally just this minute got a message from Dennis Condrey. Hold on. I just got an incoming message from Dennis Condrey about that article we just talked about. I want to Where is it? I need to figure out where the heck it went to because I'm shocked. Oh,
fine. I have these moments every moment of the day. I'm literally working as we're doing this, and I'm having the same issues.
So Dennis Condrey sends me a text message. Hey, Paul, just had a chance to read your article from this morning, and I have to say it's the same words we said to each other. I make a big deal out of that because sometimes words change, but not with you. I'm happy to say you told it just the way you knew you would. I knew you would. Can't thank you enough for your article. It's good to know you can say things and the words don't get twisted. So glad to have spoken to and had a wonderful time talking with you. I have a new friend. Thanks so much, and please be careful. Smiley face, Dennis Condrey.
Imagine if you started reading that and Dennis Condrey was like, "You piece of shit. I can't believe that you would." That would have been great.
I would have
Dennis Condrey complimentary telling you call it right down the middle. You say what you're supposed to say.
I don't know how
Isn't
to
it interesting? Isn't it interesting to note that there are celebrities who are concerned about having their words twisted? Like, you know, I know for a fact that does happen. I'm not one of those people. It's not my place as a journalist to turn something sensationalize something that honestly, in this case and in this context, was just an opportunity for us to hear some great, amazing stories from a legend of professional wrestling, a former NWA World Tag Team Champion, a former AWA World Tag Team Champion. He got his start, as he explains in that article. Go to the website right now, NWA, NationalWrestlingAlliance.com. Check it out. He talks about starting his career back in the very, very early 70s as a referee in the NWA.
That's amazing. I love that we have that history in the magazine. Also, lots of great articles about current stars of the National Wrestling Alliance, like a great piece on Pretty Empowered, one on Natalia Markovas of the women's.
And there's an ad with me and Candy in there, Gary. You haven't talked about that.
That ad is Candy approved, is it not, Danny Deals?
It is. And correct.
Did we say that the lovely Polka Dot Pam also wrote an article in this?
Absolutely. Oh, wow. You know, I want to speak to that too specifically because a lot of this, I certainly didn't. I could not have done this project alone. It was with a great deal of support, but the idea for it sort of bubbled up in my head because that is the background I come from. You know, I was editor of one of the largest publications, editor-in-chief of one of the largest publications in Northern California for a number of years. So that is an area that of talent and skill that I wanted to bring into the NWA if possible. And one thing that was very perceptible to me from the go is that I wanted our avid fans, because the fans of the National Wrestling Alliance make our product so incredibly special. They show an amazing amount of support for what we do, a tremendous love for our superstars, and one of the most outspoken that I can think of in terms of her support, passion, and love for professional wrestling is Polka Dot Pam. Pam Fisher is all over social media talking about the National Wrestling Alliance, and she's at almost every live event we do, right? So I thought it would be a fantastic opportunity to hear her perspective as a NWA super fan, and so we called it View from the Front Row.
Yeah,
Paul, can I just tell you that I think that you should totally take my spot on this show because you're so much better at this than I
am. Probably only because I don't have 800 things going on at one time like you do.
You're also not dead inside, so that's important.
Well, you're both bald, so no one will even know this. They'll think it's the same guy.
Look, but yeah,
I just got taller.
And leaner. I got healthier, leaner, and more personable.
I hate when I click on the article because these things are perfectly readable on the website. You can just go to nationalwrestlingalliance.com and click on magazines, read the articles right there. But if you want to get this
very important, kids, when you get a magazine, to read the articles. Don't just look at the pretty pictures. But tell your parents you
pictures, because I made sure the pictures are beautiful.
I was about to say part of it is you want to look at the pictures in here. It's a beautiful layout on
history
every
of the Crockett Cup winners here.
I know that guy.
Yeah, so you don't want to miss out on that. Yeah, and I mean, you got Dennis Condrey, and then the history of the Crockett Cup. So everything you ever wanted to know about that, who's the previous winners are. There's your
Paul. Where did you learn to do layouts like this?
You know, I have. It might be shocking to hear, but I'm a visual artist. So, I'm a visual artist. So that is one of the things that I've always loved is the visuals, and I have 2 degrees. I have two school degrees, right? I have a degree in political science and I have a degree in broadcast communication, but I went to get the broadcasting degree so that technically I could be a journalist. I wanted to work for, I wanted to work for Pro Wrestling Illustrated. I wanted to do design and graphics work like this for major publications that I loved and aspired to be part of. I'm probably the only person that you'll find who, when they were like 12 years old, took a tour of the publishing facilities for USA Today, because I was so captivated by the way they looked so incredibly visually different than the other newspapers of that era.
I like it. The Cleveland Press actually did that first in the early 80s, but then they went out of business with the color on the top. Do you remember that, Poyo, when you were Cleveland at the time?
How dare you call me by somebody else's name?
Clearly, these are 2 different people.
Polly, I'm sorry.
The illusions.
Yeah, but my dad used to work for them. He used to do the graphic design when they had the light table, and he used to have to cut it and tape it and send it to him to,
That I mean, I'm not as old as your dad.
Collage work in my time,
but there was a lot of that when I first started in the industry of media. So for people, they only know sort of what they know about me, right? My very first job ever was working for my first job ever, I guess, was working for Hardee's. But my first job right after that in the industry of publishing, I was working for a New York Times affiliate newspaper. And, it was a situation where I started writing it, and I was a paid journalist well before I ever graduated high school. I was publishing in like 6 or 7 publications at that time. My first published piece of work was when I was 7.
Wow.
It's weird, right? Like I don't say that to be braggadocious. It's like other kids other kids were out busy like being great star athletes. I had no athletic talents whatsoever, but I was good with the written word. So that's where my skills went. And then I went from there. I worked in publications all over Cleveland. Danny Deals and I both come from that Cleveland area. That's where I went and got my degrees in college as an undergraduate. And
did you go to OCB for your broadcasting degree? That's where I went. Did you go to OCB for your broadcasting degree? That's where I went.
No, I have a broadcasting and political science degree from Baldwin Wallace College, Berea, Ohio.
Oh, Baldwin Wallace. Yeah.
For people in the Midwest, like that's a top tier school.
Yeah. Smart kid school. It's like Case Western. D3 in athletics, but D1 in academics. Yeah.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah. And I used to work 3 times. You know what I did there? One guess.
Ad sales.
Yeah, of course.
So, Dan, it's a fun fact. Danny and I come from the same stomping grounds. I actually started in pro wrestling in Cleveland.
JT Lightning, right?
Mm-hmm. That went on it was when JT Lightning was a rookie, y'all. If you know who JT Lightning is, JT Lightning was the hot rookie prospect the same year that I was the hot rookie prospect, or that I was the same not hot rookie prospect. I was not a prospect. I was just a rookie.
Yeah. I did some shows for him, Belinda's nightclub, stuff like that.
It's pretty impressive. Like you'll see people send you, or people all the time will say like, I have ideas and stuff like that. And I don't want to knock anybody, but I'm just saying like, sometimes you never know what to expect. And I was fortunate enough that Paul would send me some of these pages as he was working on them. And I was just, I cannot express how blown away I was by how legit this thing is. Like, I was just like, oh my God, this is
same
perfect.
Here.
This is amazing. And so I'm super happy that everybody got it together and it was able to make it onto the website and available for fans right now to download and have and show your love too on all the socials or everywhere. You want to make sure that the NWA brass knows that this is something you guys appreciate and want to see more of, because I know I would.
You guys, I saw this interview not that long ago where it was with the New York Post, and it was with Billy Corgan, and Billy's talking and he's telling the people basically like what a control freak he is, like a creative control freak. And we all know that. I'm glad he confirmed it for the press, but one of the things about that, the reason that I say that, and I don't even think it's being shady, is because
it's not, but hard pop on my part. I respect it.
So the reason that he is that way is what laid the groundwork for what a lot of us have to deal with. And this is a story Billy told me, and I'm sure he's told everybody else. he started in the music industry. He had a very clear vision of what he wanted to do with the Smashing Pumpkins. And it was not exactly the hot sound of that era. And his record label was like, we think you're talented, but we want you to do this. And Billy said, absolutely not. This is my vision. We're doing it. I'm going to either like succeed or die on that hill. You know what I mean? Like, this is it. And of course, we know that the Smashing Pumpkins, multi-platinum, global, record-breaking musical act, right? So Billy trusts his own creative instincts. So to have a project like this, where he has the say-so, but he was not working to develop it along the way, has been very challenging. And I am so grateful that Billy trusted the instincts that I have, because I came to him with very similar attitude. Like, look, I really think this is something that can work. I want to give this to our fan base. I want to give it to our talent roster. It's something that I'm super passionate about. Can we try it? And Billy said, you know what? I want this, this, and this. He gave me a few parameters. The rest of it, he said, all yours, have at it, and make sure it's a home run. That's what he told me. And I wrote back to him. I said, man, I would like to be able to promise it's going to be a home run, but I can't promise that, because I plan to make this a bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, grand slam to win the game. Like, that's what I'm coming at. Like, that's who I am. That's what I want to do.
Sports references.
Hey, listen, Kyle, when he told me that, and I said Albert Bell, and he goes, I don't know who that is, but I'm assuming
okay, I feel better.
So he didn't know either.
Who is Albert? Who is Albert Bell?
I just didn't want to be like, I was like Casey at bat. You know, like I don't know any of this, but I do know enough about sports
that's a good
what that reference is. And that is like, you know, like your back is against the wall, everything is riding on you. You like, okay, how about this? Not a sports reference. Here's your one chance. Fancy don't let me down. They put that red dress on me, and if you're good to the fellas, Fancy, they'll be good to you.
I don't know the most masculine comments. I don't know feminine. I don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Kyle, it was like Ben Roethlisberger in Super Bowl 43 with 43 seconds to go.
Reba, baby.
Reba. The end zone.
No, I know who he is, because every time they were doing good, he had like assault allegations brought up against him. So that guy actually, he performed well on when he was just under the knife. Anyway, Ben Roethlisberger's retired, right?
How about this reference? It's like when Roddy Piper has Bret Hart in the sleeper, and Bret's about to go down, but then he pushes
rolls him back,
rolls over, and gets the pinfall.
I got that one.
Victory from the jaws of defeat.
You can still argue that technically Roddy's shoulders weren't down. So I'm just saying.
But that is a reference. You know, this is such a labor of love, and I consider it a love letter in many ways to our talent roster. I say it in the letter from the editor type of thing, from the desk of the editor. We have an unparalleled talent roster. Every single person in our locker room, behind the cameras, at the merch tables, every person who's affiliated with the National Wrestling Alliance is doing this because we are passionate about the National Wrestling Alliance. We are passionate and in love with pro wrestling, and we want to provide our audiences the best possible experience with legacy, tradition, as well as a nod towards what is modern. We do that successfully with our matches, our shows on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and I feel like this publication is a nod to all of those things. I mean, I don't want to be the one to point it out, but look at that great layout for Pretty Empowered if you get a chance. That Pretty Empowered, like, it's a wink and a nod to exactly who those girls are. If you recognize that movie poster that I based that on, you know exactly who those girls are.
I love it. And that's exactly who I think of every time I think of Pretty Empowered. So you nailed it on that. And you're talking about what's modern.
Yes.
Yeah,
it is not the Spice Girls, Kyle.
That's not they did have a movie.
Anyway,
Spice
speaking
World.
of modern, I also appreciated this article too, and I can't display it as properly here, but this who makes it to the top of the mountain first, where you get to see little bits on some of our newer stars in the National Wrestling Alliance, or people that are working their way up the rankings. Just
like Danny Deals. Danny Deals is already at the top. He's at
all of Danny Deals' people are here. You see Deals there with Alex Taylor, but then, you know, if you go into it, it doesn't display the same way on the website. But Eric Jackson, Deals' newest acquisition, is in there.
Deals, are you now officially managing Eric the Distraction Jackson?
Well, Enrique, Keith Sweat himself, he's going to be in the team with Plunky, and we're going to win that last spot in the Crockett Cup. So we're teaming up.
Chance. By the way, I want to give audiences a heads up. What you're seeing now on the website at nationalwrestlingalliance.com under the tab magazine, it is about 90% of this. There is one more article that's going up. It is there's 2 pages that will be added to the PDF format probably later this evening. It is basically just a recap of the top 8 seeds of the Crockett Cup 2023, as well as a look at, I believe, five people who are 5 teams rather that are kind of dark horse darlings. Like they could come out of nowhere and surprise everybody.
And to be fair, Rush Freeman, we see you in the chat. You are in that who makes it to the top of the mountain first section. So you couldn't see it from where I put you, but the Spectaculars are a part of that.
Might be going at a
ambiguous
snail's
here, but
pace, but still going.
I had a dream last night. Surprisingly, I was so excited about launching this particular project with y'all today. I could barely sleep. It was like a child on Christmas Eve. And for some reason, I remember waking up in the middle of the night and I had been dreaming, and Rush Freeman was in the dream.
Oh no!
First person ever to
I'm
dream
excited
about
to see
Rush
where
Freeman.
this goes.
It was the weirdest dream. I dreamt that I
Not flattering.
was doing wrestling training. I was training to do
No,
wrestling.
you're training because he doesn't know what he's
He
doing.
was teaching Rush Freeman how to wrestle.
Dream then.
And I kept trying to come off. They wanted me to. It was the whole thing was about an elbow drop. I was to do an elbow drop, right, like a Macho Man style elbow drop, and Rush kept being in my way. Believe it or not, that was the dream. Like Rush was in the way. I'll be like, Rush, get out of my way! Like I'm supposed to land there.
Wandered into an elbow.
I love that I pulled up this comment. It's like, who is Paul and why is he dreaming about me? And I fully believe that Rush Freeman has no idea who you are.
I hope that in the dream, the way Rush Freeman was in the wrestling ring and kept on getting in your way as he was fly fishing, and he for no reason just in the wrestling ring. Amazing. He's holding
He
a
had a
bass.
serious fishing
And he's
injury,
holding
Kyle.
a bass.
He had a serious fishing injury, Kyle.
Rush Freeman is likely going to be on the show next week, so we can keep.
He said that, but
railing
he's
on
going to
Rush.
no-show. They're all going to no-show. Spectacular.
Now wait,
The
EC3 is
gummy's
supposed to
kicking
be a
in.
special guest, right?
Yeah, EC3 is going to be on a little bit later.
He'll be here in a
Let's
couple
talk-
minutes.
Let's talk then in advance of this. As the editor of this NWA official magazine, y'all, one of our featured cover stories is about this very match. EC3 taking on Thrillbilly Silas Mason with this beautiful young lady, the Pollo Del Mar, here at ringside. This is going to be from night 1 of Crockett Cup, and we have a featured article on the cover of this issue, which is called The National Title Narrative. Can EC3 control the Thrillbilly?
Yep.
It's going to be tough.
It's a 3-page feature, some awesome articles. It kind of recaps all of the things that EC3 has done up to this point of becoming the national champion, and also has some couple of great quotes from Mr. Tim Storm talking about what he anticipates this match could be like.
Nice. I like that. Expert analysis also. This is cool. You really went all out. And
Were you able to talk to Pollo for this article?
We do have a couple quotes from Pollo Del Mar. The quotes from both Pollo as well as EC3 are taken from interviews done by Miss May Valentine.
Nice. I like that.
So it also, interestingly enough, there was a piece in this. One of my favorite quotes in this whole publication is that it talks about EC3's Seussical commentary about Seussical, as in Dr. Seuss. Like,
Yeah, the Dr.
Yes.
Seuss musical. You guys never saw Seussical? You guys aren't cultured.
Seussical the musical,
Thank
man.
you, Joe Galley. Thank you.
there is indeed a quote. We pulled a quote from one of EC3's recent promos, which was very Seussical in terms of how he name drops multiple former national champions in a very, I don't know what you would call it, like almost like a riddle. And we deciphered that for fans and then got commentary about what people think could be the outcome of this match.
Hey, the Midnights are on my TV right now. Look at that. Synergy.
I like it.
Midnight Express, I will show you, literally right behind me.
Full screen that. Come on, Gary.
I'm trying.
Bobby Eaton happens to be my
It
favorite
doesn't let
wrestler
me.
ever.
That's the jacket that Cornette's wearing in the slow-mo right now. That red-ass jacket.
So can we talk for a moment, y'all, about NWA Fan Fest? I was so bummed that the details of NWA Fan Fest while we're in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, June 3rd and 4th, did not come out in time for us to include it in this issue of NWA Official Wrestling Magazine. But I personally just learned something today. I did not realize that we're going to have one of the sheep herders as well as half of Demolition with us.
Yeah.
Big
at
time.
Fan Fest.
I'm trying to find that graphic. Sorry, guys.
I knew that we were having Ronnie Garvin and Jimmy Garvin. I personally would ache to have Precious there, if that's still a possibility.
What about Sunshine? More of a Precious.
Yes.
All right.
Sunshine left too early on and went and did her own thing. Precious and Jimmy Garvin are the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then I knew that we were going to have Tully, but I did not know that we were going to have all of these other great legends. Are y'all as excited about this as I am?
Oh yeah,
I am super pumped.
But I am sending out the graphics right now to the roster for tomorrow's NWA Power. So I am focused.
I am super excited about
Make
this.
sure that they have. I'm sure they do, but just kind of double check with them. Put it in the email anyways and be like, "Hey, roster, remember this is who's coming."
This is important. These are some of the people that we haven't seen yet in the NWA. I am interested. I brought this up to the guys one day, and I think the nerds at our chat will appreciate this. I was just like, Bill Eadie, like going by Demolition Axe here for the poster, but then you have like Luke going as sheep herder Luke rather than, I thought, well, maybe they're going by their perhaps most popular names. But,
Brother Devon was the most popular version of Devon Dudley.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's sheep herder Luke. I mean, obviously the Bushwhackers are
It's
super,
the names
super
that they
well-known.
use at other fan fests. So we're just kind of, copying it from what those are doing. So
I would only have this conversation amongst other wrestling nerds that would get it. And I think our chat is super adept.
Probably let the
wrestling
copyright go
history,
Demolition.
yeah, you nerds.
Yeah.
So, I will tell you, I saw a number of these individuals at WrestleCon in Los Angeles just a couple, maybe a month ago, and I was so flattered. I was there with my friend Poyo Dalmar, and when we were walking down the midway, Devon called over to her and said, come here, I want to take a picture. And so it was a situation where it was suggested at that time to Devon that perhaps his sons could make an appearance at the Crockett Cup. And wouldn't you know, it just so happened to come exactly that way.
Magic.
Paul, are you
That
booking
is
this show?
amazing.
Yeah.
He's
Are you the
booking
cyber
it.
booker?
Doty, I did not know that Doty was even going to bring this up in the chat. I did not see that ahead of time. I promise I wasn't stealing from you. But same point made by Doty in the chat. So I was right about the chat. But anyway.
This is an interesting scenario for all of us, because what we're talking about here is how individuals become perhaps very, very well known as one persona, but they have had an entire history of other personas. Like, of course, Luke and Butch became Hall of Famers for their work as the Bushwhackers, but anybody who watched the original Crockett Cup and the second Crockett Cup, if I'm not mistaken, know that the Sheepherders were involved in both in those events, and they had some incredible feuds that took shape.
Sheepers were blood and guts too. You go see them in the
Absolutely.
magazines, Crimson Mask. Yeah. Then they went to WWF, and but they made more money doing this.
Of course. But we look at this, and the Sheepherders had, in the National Wrestling Alliance, had some pretty iconic feuds with the Fantastics, Mr. Bobby Fulton, Tommy Rogers, with the Rock and Roll Express. So these were all things that we get to see, sort of these people who are have long histories together, and then here we are seeing
That's who's in here right now. It's the Midnights versus the Fantastics. I got World Class on from '85.
This is awesome. Well, Paul, again, I just want to say, because we'll have to move along here, but thank you so much for all the hard work you put in on this. This is really incredible. I think our fans are going to love it. And again, anybody that wants to see this in its glory, it's nationalwrestlingalliance.com. You can go there, click on magazine. You can download a PDF version of the actual magazine. You can read the articles on the site, but I recommend getting that PDF version so you can appreciate just how beautiful the work is that Paul put into this thing. It's really, really cool. Paul, before you go, prediction for the winner of the Crockett Cup. Go. You're on the spot.
The Crockett Cup tournament itself.
The tournament itself.
It's an interesting scenario this year, I think, because there are no obvious absolute front runners of this. The other thing that I think threw off my prediction, to be very blunt, Tyrus and Adonis and Knox and Murdoch are on the same side of the bracket. In my heart, I felt that those two were going to be the teams that ended up in the finals facing each other, and that is an absolute impossibility at this point. So I think that we could very well, in the finals, see La Rebellion taking on either Tyrus and Adonis or Knox and Murdoch. I personally would like to put my money on Knox and Murdoch.
That's where I was going.
Nice. All right. Well,
Captain Badass.
Paul Pratt's prediction. Thank you for that, Paul. And again, nationalwrestlingalliance.com. Go download that magazine now. Check it out. Paul, we've got to get you out of here because the national heavyweight champion is coming on, and I know that you're good friends with Pollo, and so I don't want to cause any issues on stream.
Make sure to point out that great article about him in this week, or in this brand new episode or issue rather, of NWA Official Wrestling.
I will. Thank you for your time, Paul. We appreciate you, buddy.
Absolutely. I'll see y'all later.
All right. Well, let's not waste any more time. Kyle, did you have something to say before I bring him on?
No, I just don't understand a professional wrestling website. When I go to send you graphics, it bounces it back saying the graphics are too big.
All right. Not important. Let's bring on EC3, the national heavyweight champion is here. Hello, sir.
Hold on. The cutout behind you.
Oh, that's me.
I know that's you. What are you promoting in that?
That would be a Vegas Fuel Energy. I believe it's an energy company that in my illustrious, first world championship run, they sponsored me and immediately went out of business. So kudos to Vegas.
Yeah, I only got got 2 free cans of that, and then they were gone after that.
It was dope.
It was good. It was good.
It was good. I think, they got caught up. They're a small business. They meant the best. They tried real hard. They delivered a quality product. They were made in Pennsylvania. And they just couldn't, the great energy drink wars of 2016, claimed another victim. And it's unfortunate. But you know what? I hope everyone's enjoying their Monster or their Bang. Are you still drinking Red Bull? What is it, 98? Get out of here. You should have supported small like I do. I support the little guy, the small business.
I used to buy Ace, but they went out of business too.
You drink what? Ace?
They were at Big Lots. They always had a 1940s looking pinup girl on it.
It's like the Zima of energy drink.
Yeah. Yeah.
The RC Cola of pop. Get out.
RC is delicious.
RC sucked. And you know what doesn't suck though? The magazine. I did want to give kudos to Paul Pratt.
There we go.
We may not see eye to eye. We may share mutual enemies. That ferocious Pollo, bless her heart, but the magazine is fantastic. And I was reading the article, and it's all true. I'm, the greatest national champion of all time, a future world heavyweight champion. I really
greater than Black Bart, even.
Yeah, even. Inside jokes for the win.
I do love that you've on social media been comparing yourself, putting yourself side by side with legends such as Ricky Steamboat. That's cool.
I have a few of those in the can. It's just say I need first off to find a virtual assistant to run the social media because I have all these great ideas, but I'm so, I'm the national champion. I just opened the CYN cooperative, like the, a future, I will call it the developmental territory of the NWA, because it's definitely going to be that. I'm hustling and busting, train twice a day. Like I don't stop. I'm a go-getter. I have a few more of those in the can, the tale of the tape of the, national champions of past and present. And I'll probably beat them all, I would imagine. Yeah. So Ricky Steamboat for sure, number one. And I still want a piece of Richie real bad.
Oh, wow. That's a deep cut, huh? Back to...
Is he in North Carolina? I mean, after I take care of, the Thrillbilly, I don't know if he can.
He might be there. This is a little FCW.
Yeah, he could pull up in his minivan. He could, take the kids to daycare, all 6 of them. Who knows how many he has.
Wow.
Maybe, stretch it out a little bit. Come on in, join EC3. I made Alex Riley, a.k.a. Kevin Kiley, relevant for about 7 minutes. I sure as hell could do the same thing for Richie Steamboat.
Well, you mentioned it briefly, so let's dive into this. On night number 1 of the Crockett Cup, that's June 3rd, you've got Thrillbilly Silas Mason challenging for that National Heavyweight Championship. Now, you've got big goals. You're looking for your final form. You're going on to be the world's heavyweight champion. But does that mean that is the overman overlooking the Thrillbilly right now?
Absolutely not. I see such value. I see such potential. Dare I say, I see the Thrillbilly. He's a very special talent. Like, he's truly special. I mean, he's special.
He's got that dog in him.
I see what you mean. I picking it up.
He's coming on hot. He's coming on strong. Before we even get to this title match, I do have ulterior motives. I do have a proposition for him, and I think we're going to talk about it, I would say, tomorrow on NWA Power. So before we get all willy-nilly and talk about the big NWA National Heavyweight title match between myself and Thrillbilly, I think I can offer him something far more valuable than a title shot against me at this moment that would make his career over, dare I say.
Oh, man.
Okay, now I'm interested to hear this. What is? Are you going to give us that right now? What is that proposition?
I can give you a spoiler. Look, okay, we're at the Crockett Cup. I mean, what prestige, what honor. It's one of the greatest honors in all wrestling. Tag team aficionado, like, I'm a master of singles competition. I am also a hell of a tag team wrestler that I know that if Thrillbilly and I were to team up and win the Crockett Cup, perhaps we can sneak in there at the last second, that him and I together defeat everybody, beat everybody. We win the Crockett Cup. He joins me. He comes down to the co-op, the CYN co-op. He learns from me. He sits under my learning tree, and my learning tree is actually between 2 dumpsters, and I have a barrel fire set up. So it's really cool. But sticks with me, learns from me, gathers my insights, knowledge, my skills, my expertise. If he does that the next 5-10 years, he could be very much a top guy in the NWA. And I'll tell him what, if he joins me, assists me, helps train me to become the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, I'll give him the national championship. I'll hand it over. It's not like an insult. It's not disrespecting the title. It's a great honor. What he did and what he sacrificed to get me to where I need to be to reach my final form, I would happily bestow the national championship upon him, and he can run roughshod over the entire roster with it.
Wow. Okay. So,
good deal.
I mean, maybe, but Thrillbilly's been on a roll lately. Thrillbilly seems unstoppable running through competition. Now, that's not to take anything away from you. You also have been on quite the roll yourself. So,
I'm tearing.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. He seems like a guy who would much rather fight you for it.
Yeah, like I said, he's very special. Really a special guy that perhaps my superior intellect will convince him, not con him, convince him that maybe that's the right decision.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, I don't know. You're in the office. Is that possible? Can EC3 gift the national title to Thrillbilly? I'm curious about that.
I don't know what we can do to stop him.
I mean, if I had to do a finger poke of doom, okay, maybe I would do that. But that disrespects the championship, I think. I mean, I've seen world championships come out of briefcases and handed to top guys. Why not a national championship? I mean,
that's a good point.
Talk about the commission, huh?
Mike in the chat is asking why you think, because I think you mentioned this on a recent episode of NWA Power, you think that Pollo is going to break Thrillbilly's heart and betray him.
Because that's what women do. I mean,
okay.
So, I mean, I'm not
just that simple.
Misogynist or anything. It's just, listen, women weaken knees. Am I? That's what Mick said to Rocky, and that's what I'm going to say to the Throwbilly.
It's true.
Interesting.
Break his heart. Like, I mean, you know what? He succeeds. He go like, even with her in his ear, can he even properly train to compete against me? You know, former world champion, 2 times over, soon to be 3, can without her nagging him and telling him, like, did you do the dishes? Like, you know, I did take out the trash. Who are you on your Instagram? Like, you know,
Sounds like Archie Bunker.
Whatever.
Edith. Yeah.
Yeah, Edith.
As a man, you know, I go monk mode. I live in solitude. I live alone. I train alone. I retain. I constantly retain. I am a super genius. I am a super athlete. I am spectacular in every sort of way. And that's why I'm going to become the overman. You understand? Good.
I was laughing because in my head, retain was a reference to something, and I'm pretty sure it was exactly what I thought you were
It's
talking
exactly
about.
what you think it is.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. Wow.
If you need to know, come to the CYN Cooperative. It's the
Oh,
third
I'm
lesson.
never going because I don't like to retain.
I know you don't. We've talked about it. I said
I love the idea that you guys have an actual talk about it at the cooperative.
We'll talk about anything.
we're weird.
Have you met either one of us?
That's your life force, man. That's your mana. Like, that's what can drive and control you and like take you to the top. And I understand, trust me, nobody loves the ladies more than old EC3, but I do know that for my greater purpose that they're not exactly necessary for where I need to go.
So wait a second. Your greater purpose, is that what Odinson sprays in his face? The purpose?
No.
Yeah. Brother's just weird and likes to eat spray paint.
I thought that would at least pop Joe Galley, but
I
it
would say
didn't.
this. It's rather
I kept
great.
it inside. I know sold it, but it was good.
Somebody's asking about Bo Hightower.
Oh, Hightower?
That's
Somebody.
what
So I was going to ask if you would want to talk about this. Media in the chat says, "Ask EC3 please on how Hightower helped him, if at all, any good."
Bo Hightower is like it's a famous Cairo mad magician. He's got all these wacky tools like hammers and chisels and I don't know, straps and plugins and God knows what. But we did a nice YouTube video where he at least beat the living hell out of me, popping things back into place, neck, shoulders, pectorals, lumbar, spine, like just decimated me. Yes.
Oh, the chiropractor. I watch his videos. That guy's great.
He is. He's hilarious.
He's a great interviewer and a better fixer of the body.
I would say he's a jack of 2 trades.
That's
surrounded by beautiful women too. Which I was like,
I didn't know who that was. I thought it sounded like some, you know,
I wasn't familiar.
20-year, 100-miler or something from some weird town.
He does great interviews with athletes all the time while he's doing corrective work on them. And he's super impressive, funny, knowledgeable, skilled. Guys, check it out if you haven't.
Media in the chat mentioned said how EC3 reacted in the video, especially with the cervical area. Based on EC3's reaction, I'm sold. So.
Yeah, he really, and you know what? Honestly, too, like I had some issues with C3, C4. It didn't come after that, but it came shortly after that because some 100-mile or 20-year vet dumped me on my head.
Oh God!
That's why I had. The imperfect physique for a little bit with, the decimated pec. But you know what? I overcame that. Guess who didn't get surgery? Me. Guess who worked their ass off? Me. Guess who conquered another unconquerable thing? Me, EC3. Overman. So.
Rush Freeman's in the chat and wants to say hello to you.
Oh, hello, Rush. How are you?
Boy.
That's...
Yeah. Now, there's a guy who could use some guidance, EC3.
I'm very. He's not a miracle worker. God damn it! I'm very giving with my time. I do also know a lost cause when I see it. Not to say you are. If Rush Freeman wants to come to the CYN Cooperative, I'd gladly have him.
Where is that at? Is that in Willoughby?
That's gonna be in Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
That's in Cleveland, Ohio. It's a secret location, but we're actually getting a sign put out, so we're pretty official. This building, it's like I've been working on a fantasy factory for whatever my fantasies might be, but this building can house a professional wrestling school, can house multiple businesses. We're going to have MMA fights in there. And you know what? I think we can bring an actual professional wrestling show to it. So when the time's right, I wouldn't mind inviting the NWA to come to my home turf, perhaps after I'm crowned world heavyweight champion, and we have a big celebration, a great set of TVs, EC3 appreciation night 1 and 2 and 3. I think it would sell a lot of tickets, to be honest.
Hey, if you're lucky, one day we'll name a pay-per-view after you.
That would be enough said.
I want to know what these private conversations, speaking of enough said, like these conversations, we hear you on Tyrus's podcast, the Wiseman podcast, I should say, not just Tyrus. So you guys are all on there. And then yet here you are, you're constantly talking about how you are the future world's heavyweight champion. I mean, does he take well to that?
No, I mean, no, like he's an egomaniac too. Let's not get crazy. And in fact, it is the wise man, but it's Tyrus's show. Literally, he keeps me in the waiting room for 10 to 15 minutes when I'm just as busy as him. I'm sorry I'm not paid by Roger Murdoch busy as him, but I am just as busy as him. So waiting for him to get there. And sorry, guys, got caught up. Got another Super Bowl commercial. It's like, dude, that's cool, man. I think he appreciates the healthy competition. He does want to be the best. He does want to push himself to the limits, and he knows waiting in the wings is me. And as colleagues, friends, co-hosts on his podcast, we've done battles. We've been great allies. It's just the nature of the beast. Now, what's really going to chap him is when I become Ethan Carlson III and Tucker and I start our own news and take him right out.
I think the champ has to know everybody's coming for it anyway, even if they're your friends.
Is EC3 starting a show on Twitter? Is that what's happening?
No, but I should probably start a podcast, right?
Yeah, you could do it. I believe you'd get a lot of action there. I got to ask you too, just like we asked Paul, do you have a prediction for the actual? I mean, let's say that you and Silas are not in the tournament. Do you have a prediction?
Yeah, he turns me down. He makes the biggest mistake of his life. And on night 1, June 3rd at the Crockett Cup, I decimate and ruin his career, ruin his life, send him packing back to the boonies, back to the meth lab, dare I say. Get out of here, kid. You had a good run. Not really. I see Tyrus and Adonis. I don't know who can beat them. I really enjoyed their championship match. Innovative victory. Two classic wrestlers, bulls going at it, teaming up. And I think Adonis has something to prove. Coming up short in that title match, he does want some sort of accolade to probably carry him over to become, a number 1 contender once again.
Interesting. Now I asked that because I'm just curious too. Looking at this bracket here, your boys, I know that you've got a relationship with Fodder and Flip. How do you think they'll do in this tournament? That's
a very interesting combination. Psycho Flips. I mean, I think they'll do quite well. I don't know if their cohesiveness will be there. So how will they get past La Rebellion? I do see them advancing to the second round. What really intrigues me is Latimer and Rhett Titus as a team.
I like that one. Yeah.
Yeah. 2 workhorses, that would be good. And I still have unfinished business. He got a bye? Latimer got a bye, huh?
The top seeded teams get a bye into the next round.
I don't know who made these brackets.
I do.
Emil. Morton's gonna explode. Heat Seekers, maybe my underdog pick. What else I got?
The last chance spot, they're gonna go all the way.
You never know. 16s beats 1s sometimes, not often, but sometimes. Actually,
it can happen.
Anything can happen. Anything can happen at the Crockett Cup.
That's true. Well, EC3, we appreciate your time, and you've kind of you've laid out that we need to pay attention to NWA Power tomorrow night, definitely, because I'm just interested to see how Throwbilly is going to take your offer.
Yeah, and honestly, too, with the CY and Cooperative, I'm teaching a class on how to do what they call in the industry insider baseball coming at you. The money promo, where I'm going to deliver a whirlwind of verbiage into the Thrillbilly's face, to which he will make the right decision, I hope, and dare he not. If he does not make the right decision, I will tell you what, I want to come back next week and I want to address it personally, probably live from the CYN Cooperative.
He may not even understand the words.
I speak very slowly when I deal with the very special talents.
All right. Well, hopefully we get to see you next week, because it'd be cool to see the cooperative. And, I hope things go your way. Don't get me wrong. But,
I mean, if he does, if he does accept, I'll bring him up to the cooperative. I'll run him through a training session. He'll chase a chicken. He'll go through the psychoanalysis. We'll stream it live with you guys too. So either way, we're coming live from the co-op.
All right. Well, thank you very much, EC3. I know you're a very busy man, so we won't hold you anymore. We appreciate you jumping on here, and maybe we'll see you next week. And we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow night.
My pleasure. And I have about 3,000 more words to write on how to maintain a relationship when you're on the road. And it's a doozy. You can't. All right, boys. Thank you.
We'll put that PDF on the site when you get that done. All right. Thanks. All right. All right. Well, that was EC3, and we appreciate him jumping on here. Danny Deals, you're front and center. You're in the spotlight there.
Mother's Dance for you.
Let's talk about NWA Power tomorrow night before we wrap this baby up. It's a big show.
I have the graphics, Kyle.
Well, it's a big show.
Yeah. We're on our way to the Crockett Cup, and we only got a couple more of these to get through. The NWA Powers that are going to dictate how that show is going to go tomorrow night. So you already know from EC3 there's going to be some big stuff going on, apparently.
Well, let that comment in there from Alex, by the way.
Oh, what's up with Alex? I missed it.
Highlight that comment.
Oh, yeah. Deals and Plunky are winning the whole thing. I like that.
All right.
Well, all right. Alex Taylor, I'm sure he's going to be looking for some junior heavyweight action in there somewhere if he can help it. So we look forward to seeing what Alex Taylor's going to do.
I've been seeing him and Joe Alonzo there having some disagreements online.
I meant to actually, and I apologize, I meant to actually show that on here. These two have been going
If you
at
want
it.
to enjoy two people disliking each other and saying some things that you shouldn't say in public about one another, you're going to love their social media.
You got to follow Alex Taylor, follow Joe Alonzo.
Alonzo doesn't have enough venom for Alex. He's going to lose that battle. If Alex runs out of things to say, I'll just tell him what to say.
People don't understand unless you're around Alex enough. You don't know that he seems quiet, like he seems like low key, but
He's
boy
another
is
level.
quick witted. He's fast on his feet.
That's easy. Well, it's easy to bury some guy you think's a dipshit. I mean, that's easy. So I mean, even the quiet people can do that.
Yeah, well, I'm putting him over. I mean, I'm just saying.
I know.
I'm
just telling you. Alex is a wordsmith when it comes
he
to.
is.
Hey, you're stupid. Okay. Hey, you got to show us the matches.
Yeah, tomorrow night we're gonna see Blake Troop take on Talos in singles action. These are two big boys. Now nobody's quite as big as Talos. That dude's massive, but
he is a big brother. But let me tell you something about old Napalm Death. He needs to stay out of the way in the last chance three-way. All right, he needs to get out of there. Him and Power Ballot. They can move out of the way while we get rid of the miserably faithful goofs.
I don't see Daisy Kill over here. I have to imagine he's going to be pretty close by in this situation, even though we know Chris
Blake Troop looks like he just bit into a lemon. To
be fair, yeah, that's just kind of what he does with his face. Like it's an angry face.
Yeah.
How about this? You want to talk about huge? I don't know if we've seen one of these on Power quite yet, and maybe we have way back in the day. But a Master Lock challenge is going on. Aaron Stevens and Chris Adonis. This is going to be interesting.
I do like Aaron Stevens, but I don't believe he can. He can't. I don't think he can break the Master Lock. But maybe he's figured it out. I don't know.
Student of the game. He's watched plenty of
Probably
tape.
got a key up his sleeve.
May have.
Got sleeves. I mean, they're really flowy. I mean,
yeah.
Well, let's talk about one of your boys' deals. How about this? It's non-title apparently, but Jeremiah Plunkett's finally going to get his hands on Kerry Morton here.
Yeah, he cut a lot of weight to get to junior heavyweight level, and he might have to rip that strap off old Terrence Morton. He might not have it come Crockett Cup, and then all the little guys that call out Kerry on Twitter, then they'll have to switch it over.
Jeremiah, I think our Australian fans would say he's a few kilos heavy. And I don't know if he's going to quite make the cutoff.
No, he'll make it. He'll make it. He's there right now.
What a great
Is he
strong
sweating?
man
Is he in the sweatsuit? Is he spitting into a jar?
He's doing all that.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
Yeah.
We even he had to burn off a little bit extra. So on Friday we got in there with the Country Gentleman. That's a lot of work. So he was able to burn off a lot of.
How did that turn out, by the way?
Well, we don't have new U.S. tag champs. So.
Well,
no, they cheated, and I was double teamed by the country gentleman in some kind of crazy finish, and it hurt very badly. But they did not. They still have to rematch us because it wasn't the full crew. Alex had a sling on. We had Jake on a rental. I was really there for support, but for whatever reason, just because of my tracksuit, they thought it was part of the match. I mean, I did tag in, but that was just, I was just caught up in it. So they have to give us a rematch for
it. David called back to Jack Stain in the Master Lock Challenge. I like that. Yeah, everyone remember the Master Light Challenge? We do. Well, speaking of the U.S. tag titles, let's move on to the World Tag Team Championships. I don't know what I did to poor Joe.
I'm dealing with my cat too, so it's.
Oh, okay. I thought I did something.
You did,
really
yeah.
stupid.
You popped me, and I'm also dealing with my cat.
How about this tomorrow night? Magnum Muscle getting their opportunity. Their much-deserved rematch against La Rebellion for the NWA World Tag Team Championship.
Now, this is interesting, too, because if they win, then they'd switch spots, would they not, in the seeding or not?
You would think they would be the number one seeded. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how much of it was that they're the
I think once you set a seed, that seed doesn't change.
Well, that wouldn't be fair.
You can't be partially pregnant.
The only reason the Werewolves are number one is because they got the straps. They wouldn't be number one otherwise.
But that doesn't matter. In case they lose them in the meantime, though, they're still number one. It's been established.
They're very.
Hey, there's only one way to find out.
Get some new graphics made.
La Rebellion are not just threatening because they're the current World Tag Team Champions. They're two-time World Tag Champions. They're
okay when they lost in the Crockett Cup last year. It's the only reason they're ranked number one. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
I'm just, as a fallback.
David agreeing. That the seating should be on the line here, so maybe it is. Maybe we'll let Kyle and Joe run that up the ladder, but I don't know. They got to get through La Rebellion first for any of that to matter. But there are a lot of people pulling for Magnum Muscle, so maybe it'll happen. I've seen online Dak and Mims get love. People are appreciating this team. So
not from your boy Freeman, old Rush Freeman. He didn't give him any love.
No, Rush is another person you can follow on social media, and he is being very, very. I notice he doesn't ever pick on Dak. He just picks on Mims. He goes after Mims. I don't know what his thought process is exactly, but
it's just crazy because Mims is closer to him, I think, right? Or no? Or did he move for the 17th time?
I have no idea where he lives.
They used to live in close proximity, so you'd think he would, stay away from old mean Mims there.
Rush Freeman just came up on my feed again, guys. He's selling shirts now too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
this is a very Rush Freeman centric podcast.
Oh, you guys, I didn't. This is poor Rush Freeman. I hope
guys. He's also going to Vegas. Will he elope? Who's to say? All I know is he said he's randomly going to Vegas when somebody was kissing him on the head. So who knows what that means?
Yeah, he might. He might. Hey, good for him. He may come back a married man.
Hey, man. That's the best part of Rush Freeman.
Good for him.
Yeah.
I guess okay for her.
Good Lord.
Oh.
Guys get buried on 2 podcasts. Jeez.
This Rush has always been super nice. In New Orleans, I got to hang out with Rush.
Here's the thing. If Rush wasn't such a good sport about all the ball busting, we wouldn't do it. But it's almost to the point where it's like, this is how we show we appreciate him.
Yeah. I went to a vampire bar with Rush Freeman in New Orleans.
Did he suck your blood?
To a what?
No. A vampire bar.
Oh, a vampire bar?
Tell us more. Tell us more.
No, it was.
He can't suck blood. He's too busy sucking and
we were there early, and it was Rush, Freeman, myself, and CJ.
Bullseye.
Randomly, and we went to. We got the code to go into a vampire bar. We hung out on the.
I'm more impressed you guys didn't get mugged.
Yeah, didn't get mugged.
Was it in New Orleans or
yeah.
So actually, when like 15 years ago, we're in Canada, and we ended up at a goth bar, and this is when I used to travel with Rhett Titus. And Rhett Titus came into the bar. and he's being Rhett Titus, and he's kind of dancing around to the music, and he kind of looks around, and he notices that like not everybody looks normal, and he's the only one there. He's like, "What kind of bar are we in right now, man?" And he just freaks all out. And but then at the time he wasn't married or anything like that. He was like, "I think this weird chick likes me." And then he started talking to a goth girl. It was funny. You had to be there. Anyway, moving on.
So it was weird for us to be there. And then like, I remember Aaron Stevens hearing about it. And he was like, I'm going to that bar. I'm going to a vampire bar tonight. He didn't invite anybody. He didn't want anybody with him. He was like, I'm going to this vampire bar. That's my scene. I'm going.
He invited Gangrel. Gangrel was there too, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So maybe. Anyway. All right.
Banging and banging.
Banging and banging.
Gangrelin.
Rhett dances.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Red ski, the jet ski?
He used to dance to the ring. In the ring.
In fact, the Spectacular stole his gimmick.
Yeah, old Addicted to Love himself. He even had the dance off of Bryan Danielson in the ring. Remember that, Kyle?
Yep. Yes, I do.
He lost, but he did attempt it. Yeah, all your cousins, uncles, everybody, including
Noob. You're right. All right, I know. We gotta move this thing along. It's already after 8.
It's your show, Gary.
No. I
Congratulations,
completely
Noob.
take the blame. There's lots of stuff happening on this show. We already talked about the National Heavyweight Championship match, EC3 defending against Silas Mason. How about this? Kinsey Page on night 2 is going to defend the NWA World Women's Television Championship.
Oh, Gary,
And debut the belt.
Noob just put this over. How do we not even talk about it? The match that got announced today.
Yeah, well, we're getting there. That's what made me think of it.
Okay.
It's Noob talking about this. I was working my way there.
Right.
6-man scramble. Winner's going to receive a
He
title
won't
shot
have
for
the
the
belt
NWA
Plunkett
Junior
winner.
Heavyweight Championship. Who? Oh, Plucky's match is a non-title match according to the graphics.
No,
so.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fax the office about that.
Alex Taylor and Joe
We
Alonso.
don't have a fax
I hope
machine.
that they're both in this matchup because they need to be a part of this so they can work out some of their differences based on.
Yeah, Alex
social
can kick
media.
the shit out of him.
Yeah,
I
there you go.
know. By the way, that
and-
video you randomly posted the other day, that expletive later that's tall, I loved it. That was hilarious to me. I don't know why.
Which one?
Where you lured somebody out with gummy candy.
Oh, gag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I feel like we showed that on here at one
There
point.
is so much swearing during that.
Well, I didn't air on the show. I gave it to Trask. It never aired.
I believe at one point you just really go, "Look at you, little fucking creep." As they're beating that out of him.
No.
That
creepy
was during the
motherfucker.
period. Do you remember? That was like right after 75 when
And then
I said
Alex is
creepy
beating him
motherfucker.
down, being like, "Yeah," and he's like agreeing with you. I mean, for Christ's sakes, you're just assaulting people that did nothing wrong, and yet
No, he
I'm
didn't.
working
He
on
tried
it,
to
buddy.
kill us.
I'm
That was in
working
New
on it.
Orleans. That was right after they tried to kill us in St. Louis.
Yeah,
I'm telling
because
you.
That's what I said.
there was the other one. Remember where Sal and Alex fought on top of the ladder? We
yes,
showed
I
that on this
also
show.
recall this guy going around with like wooden crucifixes he's built for himself and like holy water and shit like that. 'Cause
Yeah.
he used to watch too much Hammer horror
Fighting
back in the
Dracula.
day.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. We got
Hardcore Timor.
Frankenberry.
The women, pretty empowered.
Way to put that over, Gary. Timor. Women.
These ladies are gonna brawl, and it's gonna be good. I'm excited. That's on night 1.
Hardcore team war.
He
I
said,
think we need to
Just
go
tease
over
right
it
off
for
the
a
top.
second.
Women.
Hardcore team war.
I think we need to go over the rules of this so people understand. So it is still a standard team war. There's no tags. Eliminations happen by pinfall submission or being thrown over the top rope. But the hardcore team war aspect means you get to bring the hardware. So you get to bring in weapons. You could have your team could pass you a weapon. So it's definitely something that could get very, very violent very fast.
That's true. Actually, Roxy asked me if I was bringing any weapons from the Deal's house next week.
What are you bringing?
I told her there was a trash can, there was a Singapore cane, there was a couple things.
You could probably leave the trash can at home. But yeah, the Singapore cane sounds good.
Yeah.
I like
Well,
that.
we should bring a trash can. I mean, what the hell?
It just announced
Oh, we
tonight.
should bring a
or
ring
today.
jacket then.
Earlier today, we found out the NWA World Women's Championship is on the line.
Whoa.
Camille taking
Whoa.
on Natalia
Big
Markova.
time.
This one's huge. because
Everybody
these
make
two
your pick.
wrestled to a time limit draw last time. So Natalya's been on a tear. Can she take the title? Can she get the 1, 2, 3 or the tap?
I
from-
think
Everybody make your
Natalia,
pick.
and correct me if I'm wrong, Kyle, I think Natalia was undefeated in Australia the whole time we were there. So
I'd have to look at all of the results.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, she was wrestling Australian jobbers and Mercurio, so that doesn't count. But she is a badass.
Wow.
Badass. I feel dirty saying this.
With
With
a great
badass
ass.
with a great ass. Yeah. No, yeah, that's her thing. So there you go. That's Natalia Markova. And tried to get her on the show tonight, folks. She's out of the country right now. She is a very busy lady. So
Yeah, she's Russian.
she's never mind. Yeah. So
I think
There
she
you
lives in
go.
Clearwater.
and she runs a school.
She's a Russian,
She's got all kinds of
Clearwater, Russia. Who's your pick, Joey G? You think we got a new champion?
She's been champ for 718 days now. I might be off by a couple of days, but it's something like that. So, you can never bet against the champ, but I think Markova is hitting a stride. I think that's going to be one of her biggest challenges at this point to Camille. And so, I think that's definitely going to be a match to watch. Here's the thing we talk about all the time with Camille. Night 1 of 74, match of the night, Camille match. Night 2 of 74, match of the night, Camille match. So it's can't miss as far as the action and what you're going to see in the ring. You could even say NWA versus AAA, match of that entire series was the Camille match. So she's going to bring it. Natalia's going to bring it. And who's leaving with the Burke? I guess we're going to find out. As Kyle likes to say, who's to say?
Who's to say?
Well, Noob, I see you in the chat, and you're apparently a big Natalia Markova fan. I got to tell you, you got to go over to nationalwrestlingalliance.com if you haven't already. That magazine, there is a whole spread on Natalia Markova that Paul Pratt put in there, as well as Camille. So they both get a lot of love in the magazine this time around. So you definitely want to go over there and check that out. Natalia Markova. What I love about this matchup is neither one of these women they are both hard-hitting badasses. They go at each other. So I'm excited. I want to see them with less of a time limit this time. I want to see them take it all the way to a definite winner here.
Try not to get creepy when you're saying this.
I'm trying every
You're
phrase
like,
I could think of sounded weird.
I could hear in your head. Yeah, you were like, and they're gonna yeah, damn it.
Can't think of
competitors are
something.
going to battle it out until one walks away as champion or not. We're still talking about the women's title match, right?
I still like Team War, women. So, Gary, who's your pick?
I
Are
was
you
just
picking
trying.
that?
I think I say it all the time. You don't make money betting against the champ. You can't do it. Camille.
I'm going to
all the
pick an
time,
upset.
every
I
time.
think it's going to be a Russian winter. That's what I think.
That's cold.
One-time champ,
That's
Hitman says. That's it.
That's confusing because aren't we just going into summer?
Yes.
Not in Russia. Wait a minute.
Yes. It's always cold.
But I mean, a lot of people feel like this is the biggest challenge for Camille to date. So we're going.
Well, I thought Taya was, but yeah, Markova, yeah.
Oh yeah, Taya was a great match, but I mean, just with
like I
this
said,
role
match
that
of the night, and that says a lot for all the matches that we had that night.
Yeah. I mean, we were on the show, and that's
I said match of the night.
Why
Not
I
meme
beat
of
up
the
that
night.
little goofy.
You definitely had meme of the night on that match.
David says he's making $1 million betting on Markova. Well, we're going to see. I hope you all go over to nationalwrestlingalliance.com and check out that full page spread on her. It does make you really appreciate her as a talent. So you, if you don't already, I know a lot of you clearly do. Guys, we can't possibly get out of here if I don't give these people their moment of Sal.
No.
We only see happiness in the rear view mirror.
music that sells me.
He's driving me crazy.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Salvatore time. Guys, anything else we need to add to this live stream? People got things to do. So
yeah, we got all kinds of stuff on the store. So you go, you read the magazine, you leave with the shirt.
You got one of these still?
Yeah, you got the tank tops. That's the Kyle special.
What about what Gary's wearing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still got a few of those. I do. I don't have what Kyle's wearing, but I have some of what everybody appears wearing.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go. Kyle's being a rebel.
Just
because you know why, Kyle? This is the dance. That's why
we are working. You just saying that, it just hit me just how much we're working really hard to make nationalwrestlingalliance.com a great site for you to visit every single day with all the news and articles you can get now, thanks to Paul Pratt. And then nationalwrestlingalliance.com/shop is right there. You can check out all the great.
In Kyle's defense, ECW was once a NWA affiliate. So
right,
true.
Well,
and then Shane Douglas dropped the title by accident. He had it in his hand. It fell on the ground. He didn't know what to do. He hesitated.
And he said, "Screw it! I got this other belt. I'm the champion."
I still got him
unintentional. It was
belt.
all an accident. ECW happened by accident.
Yes,
he is still technically a former NWA World Champion.
He is. He had it.
There it is.
Shortest reign ever, but he had it.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for showing up in the chat. Thanks for showing your love. Share it on social media. Give it a like if you haven't already. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. For God's sake, to the NWA Extra, youtube.com/NWA Extra. You got to get on there. We love you guys. Thank you for being here. Until next week, please, for the love of God, enjoy